From all over our region, this is Kaleidoscope. For years, capturing the good news, interesting places, and remarkable people doing their best. This is Kaleidoscope, presented by Cameron Video Productions. This segment sponsored by Gap Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. Woodward Cave in Center County. It's quickly approaching its 100-year anniversary. During that 100 years, many people have explored its wonders. How did it come to be? What treasures lie inside? And what do the new operators think of this natural wonder? Time for some caving.
They're astounded. I've had several guests say, "Oh, I've been to Carlsbad out in Arizona, and this is way better than Carlsbad." I went, "Okay, that's good to know. I will put that on the list of things." So yes, most people just are absolutely astounded.
Even people who are showing up ready for a great cave tour, already primed, go, "Wow, this is so much grander than I could have imagined."
My favorite part about the cave especially is that you get a really up-close look at some of these formations that many of the other caves are off in the distance and they're beautiful, but here you get to get a really up-close and personal feel for what those look like. The new owner is a good friend of mine and called me up in November and said, "Hi, I did a thing. I bought a cave. Do you want to help me out with that?" And I went, maybe.
The owner of the cave reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I may have accidentally bought a cave." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I might have accidentally bought a cave. I could use some help with marketing."
How cool would it be to kind of hang out and work at a cave all day? So here I am.
And I said, "Absolutely, I will absolutely be there." The reality is this is a dream come true. There was no hesitation on my part. I am familiar with Woodward Cave even before this. I came here when I was a kid. I spent a lot of time here when I was a kid. I knew a little bit about what was going to be required, and I was just really lucky to have been able to hop right into this opportunity. The original owner who originally opened this for tours, he was a local innkeeper. So he was from the area. They had been doing tours just locally. Before this opened for commercial tours, local farmers, it was said you could knock on their door and they would grab a lantern and take you into this, now, at that point, wild cave. And the original owner of Woodward Cave, he saw this as an opportunity to highlight something genuinely unique and a little out of the way. 100 years later, I think that spirit still guides us. So the cave was originally called Red Panther Cave. They renamed it Woodward Cave in 1926 when it opened for commercial tours. The name change is a little unromantic in the sense that they just renamed it Woodward Cave to help tie it closer to the town of Woodward, which is right down the road from us. But the silver lining is that I think it helps shed light on how this cave really is a part of the community, Woodward and all of Penns Valley. So Woodward Cave is a solutional cave, and it started as an aquifer underground. And as the ground level lowered, and so too did the aquifer, the cave revealed itself. What's really interesting about Woodward is that after that happened, a local stream actually found the bottom half of our cave and has created a more dramatic and up until 100 years ever-changing environments. We actually have two different environments here at Woodward Cave. The bottom half of our cave is an area that was only accessed about 100 years ago. The owners at the time diverted what's called Pine Creek away from the entrance of the cave, and in these areas, the mud and the clay and the silt was almost entirely up to the ceiling. So a team of men armed with nothing but hand shovels and wagons spent about 2 years digging out this cave. That's what allowed us the opportunity to come in here and give these tours. We're currently in the dry cave, and historically this would have been above that Pine Creek. So the formations up here are a lot more mature and a lot grander because they weren't disrupted by that seasonal stream that would have been running through here. There are so many interesting things about Woodward Cave. Do you have all day? I could talk to you about them. We are the coldest cave in Pennsylvania. Most caves are about 55 degrees in Pennsylvania. Ours is 48 degrees year-round. We're also the largest cave in Pennsylvania in terms of total volume of space underground. And that's described by not one, but 5 grand rooms. We have the ballroom, the bat room, the hanging forest, the grand room, and the hall of statues. Some of our rooms have 50-foot cathedral ceilings. Being the largest cave, we actually have some very impressive formations. We have the largest stalagmite in Pennsylvania, we call the Tower of Babel. It's 14 feet tall from top to bottom, 8 feet from side to side. In fact, it's one of the largest stalagmites in the whole United States. Stalactites are formations that grow from the ceiling downward. Stalagmites are formations that grow starting on the ground and they grow upward. Cave bacon is the result of what's called cave drapery. These little veins of calcite grow along the sides of the walls of the cave, and when that happens, they grow in these low-hanging sheets that look like curtains, and we call that cave drapery. Now, sometimes that drapery will get layering in it, dark and then white and then dark and then white, and when that happens, it actually resembles bacon. They call it cave bacon. In the bottom half of our cave, in these tunnels where Pine Creek would have been originally flowing, the actual height of the cave would have been quite tight. We're talking only 3 feet high in a lot of spaces. What's really interesting about that is that there are areas where shelves of calcite would have deposited. We've since come through and we've removed all that silt. We've changed where the floor was. The floor is effectively where the ceiling is. Those travertine shelves are now above us, and we actually get to see what the floor of the cave looked like from much lower, looking up at it. So in 1926, this cave's about ready to be open for commercial tours. The owners at the time said, we have a great idea. Let's promote our cave by moving a giant formation out of the cave and putting it by the side of the road. So they found one of our grandest stalagmite formations called the Kneeling Camel, and they attempted to move it. They didn't get very far. Unfortunately, when they moved it, they stopped the growth of that formation. It's effectively dead now. And the reason for that is every stalagmite requires a stalactite above it to actively feed it. The little drips of water from that stalactite grow that stalagmite. So when they moved Kneeling Camel, they disrupted that growth. A lot of our history revolves around the last 100 years of commercial tours. The reality is Woodward Cave has been around for a lot longer than that, and it's been peopled a lot longer than that. One of the more infamous stories involves a highway robber whose name is David Lewis, and he was known as the Robin Hood of Pennsylvania. And in the early 1800s, he used a network of caves to evade capture and to stash his ill-gotten goods. We know that he used Woodward Cave, and in fact, we know that he was captured not far from Woodward Cave eventually. Easily the best part of the job, even for my job, reaching out to people in the community and getting to educate them about a unique natural wonder. Seeing people become inspired, actually watching them become inspired, it never gets old.
Some very cool history there. Now later in the show, we'll have more about the cave and its seasonal residents. We'll be right back.
Hairstyles provided by Salon Visions in Westmont.
Earlier, we gave you a quick tour of the Woodward Cave located in Center County. While the formations and spaces are spectacular, it serves as an important place to preserve an underappreciated winged creature, the bat.
Bats are a really important part of our story here at Woodward Cave. We're the second largest hibernacula in the state. which means that we have more bats that are hibernating here over the winter than almost anywhere else.
Bats are naturally attracted to these colder temperatures. So here in Pennsylvania, we have 6 species of hibernating bats. They are a true hibernator. So they'll come in September to start their hibernation process. They'll stay all the way until May. Back in 2010, a fungal infection broke out, decimated, nearly eradicated most of our bat species here in Pennsylvania. Our cave sits at 48 degrees, which is about 4 degrees cooler than most of the caves in our area. That lower temperature is really important for our surviving bat population because that fungal infection has a harder time growing in that lower temperature. So more and more bats are actually coming to our cave specifically, instinctually knowing that they have a greater protection against that infection. So our cave specifically has become a really important site for bat conservation. Bats are actually really important to our ecosystem. There are plants in this world that would not exist without bats. Bananas, mangoes, agave being just a few of those things. Bats are one of the most efficient creatures in pollination, pest control, and ecosystems would literally break down without them. There are certain plants that only are pollinated by the bats. Mostly here in Pennsylvania, in the States, it's pest control. They are wonderful. They eat, I think it's like 1,000 bugs in an hour or something silly like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but they are very efficient, very good at pest control. Those mosquitoes, those pesky mosquitoes, the bats take care of that. Our new owner is actually a bat biologist, and that's one of the reasons why this site, owning this cave specifically, was really important to him, because he's of course all about saving the bats. Several of our tour guides do have geology, biology backgrounds. With conserving the bats, that education is a really important step for us, a really important part of our tour guide and our mission here, really. We really want to educate people in how important not only the bats, but just biology and geology in general, how important that is and how important it is to conserve those things for future generations.
Neat place, but I'll definitely wait until the bats are on summer break to take a tour. And we are done. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Kaleidoscope. Keep up to date with Kaleidoscope on our website or join the others who have liked our Facebook page. And as I always say, for a different view of our region, look at life through our kaleidoscope. We'll see you next weekend.